Do you know of any difference in market potential between Canada and USA? We just had a Zoom call with an accountant and told us that it may be more complex having a business in Canada and selling in the USA concerning tax reporting in every state, as well as eventually withdrawing money from the business to ourselves. That sounds like an accountant just being conservative. Um, from little research on Google, I've seen that if our gross sales or units sold through each state does not exceed the state's nexus, it may be simpler regarding taxes. I found a tool, Avalara, that simplifies taxes for the US. Are you familiar with it? The second option is to set up an LLC in the US, as this can simplify the process. The third option is start selling in Canada. So Canada obviously is going to be a much smaller market. As far as tax stuff goes, so there's a software called TaxJar, which is similar to Avalara. That's what we use. Basically, it can integrate with Amazon and Shopify and other marketplaces as well. The main thing when it comes to sales tax is you have to hit, like, in most states they have both economic nexus and locational nexus, basically physical nexus is what they call it. But in most cases, it's kind of like you have to have at least 200 plus sales in a year, and or $100,000 in revenue in that state, which it varies state to state. So obviously look at the specifics for any given state. But it's kind of one of those things that when you're starting off, it's not really going to be an issue. And then, like, say you get to a decent amount of volume, and now you need to start collecting in, say, California or Florida, any of the major states. Well, then it's kind of like, okay, at that point, register in that state and, collect at that point. But, if you haven't hit that threshold, you really don't need to worry about sales tax in the States. So again, CPAs and accountants like to be conservative and tell you things not to do because it's going to make taxes complicated. But at the end of the day, I would much rather sell millions of dollars in the US and have to figure out sales tax than selling in a significantly smaller market in Canada and limit my income potential.